Victoria, my wife, said we should break up. My ex-boyfriend, Derek, lost everything and he needs me more than you do. I put the Mercedes-Benz keys, a surprise for her, into my pocket and smiled. I wish you both happiness. 4 months later, late one night, she showed up at my door in tears with a group of people. I simply closed it quietly. That Thursday night, as I drove into our driveway, the Mercedes-Benz keys in my pocket felt heavier than ever. 3 months of overtime, extra projects, and sacrificed lunch breaks had finally paid off. The promotion was real, and I wanted to give her a special surprise, a gift that proved I was working for our future together. Walking into the house, I felt something was different. Too quiet. Usually, she'd be watching Netflix or scrolling on her phone, but the living room was empty. I found her in the kitchen, her back to me, gazing out the window, lost in thought. "Hey, how was your day?" I asked, putting down my briefcase. She slowly turned around, pale, with that look in her eyes. "You know, the one that signals whatever happens next will change everything. We need to talk." My stomach tightened, but I tried to keep my voice calm. "Okay. What's wrong?" She took a deep breath and crossed her arms. "I think we should break up." The words hit me like a punch to the gut, but I didn't show it. Break up? Where did that come from? It's not working out between us anymore. I've been thinking about this for weeks. Weeks. She had been planning this while I was working overtime to surprise her. The irony was profound. "Is there someone else?" I asked directly. She hesitated for a moment, but that moment revealed everything. "It's not like that. It's just Derek. You know, his company went bankrupt. The divorce left him with nothing, and he really needs support right now. He needs me more than you do." Derek, her college ex, the one she told me was a thing of the past when we first started dating 5 years ago. Did I hear that right? I leaned against the kitchen counter. "You're leaving me to help your ex-boyfriend who has nothing. You're making it sound worse than it is. You're successful. You have your career. You don't need me. Derek is struggling, and I can't abandon him when he's at his lowest." Her audacity was shocking. I reached into my pocket and felt the Mercedes-Benz keys. These were the keys to the car I planned to surprise her with tomorrow morning. That car, with her name on the license plate, was waiting for me at the dealership. "So you've planned everything, haven't you?" I said calmly. "I know it's hard to understand, but I have to do the right thing. Derek and I have a history. The way we understand each other." I raised my hand. "Stop. Don't say another word." She seemed surprised by my tone. Perhaps she expected me to beg, to fight for her, to deliver a dramatic speech about our marriage. Instead, I walked to the kitchen drawer and pulled out a notepad. "Here's how this is going to go." I scribbled a name and phone number. "You can contact my lawyer, Thomas Bennett, on Monday if you want to make this official. I won't stand in your way." Her mouth dropped open. "That's it? You're not even going to try to salvage anything?" I looked at her for a long time. This woman I had been married to for 3 years. This woman I had planned to surprise with a €50,000 car. This woman who told me her ex-boyfriend's needs were more important than our marriage. "You just told me another man needs you more than I do. What exactly am I supposed to salvage? I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd support me in helping someone who's going through a hard time." "Support you?" I almost laughed. "You expect me to support you for leaving me for your ex-boyfriend? It's not like that, then. What is it like? Because to me, it looks like you chose him over me, and you still want my blessing." She started to say something, but I was done talking. I picked up my keys and walked towards the door. "Where are you going?" she yelled after me. "When I come back, I expect your things to be packed. If you're serious about breaking up, then act like it. You're being so dramatic." I turned at the front door. "No, I'm being practical. You've made your decision. I'm just accepting it faster than you expected." I drove around the city for 2 hours, trying to process what had just happened. The Mercedes-Benz keys were still in my pocket, a constant reminder of how utterly I had misjudged my marriage. When I returned home, half of her clothes were gone, and there was a note on the kitchen counter saying she'd be staying with Derek for a while. I crumpled the note and tossed it into the trash. Then I called the dealership and told them I wouldn't be picking up the car after all. Some surprises are just not meant to be. The next morning, I woke up in an empty house for the first time in 3 years. No aroma of coffee, no sound of the shower, no rustling as she got ready for work. Just silence. I made myself coffee and sat at the kitchen table, looking at the lawyer's business card I'd written down the night before. Thomas Bennett, divorce attorney. A colleague had recommended him after his own complicated divorce 2 years ago. My phone vibrated with a text from her. I hope you can understand why I had to do this. Derek is really going through a tough time. I deleted the message without replying. Around noon, Margaret, my neighbor, knocked on my door. She was in her 60s, retired, and knew all the gossip on the street. I saw her leaving with suitcases yesterday, she said, cutting straight to the chase. Is everything all right? We're separating, I said simply. Margaret's eyebrows raised. Oh, that's sudden. But honestly, I'm not surprised. What do you mean? She looked around as if expecting eavesdroppers. I didn't want to say anything before, but I saw a man picking her up a few times when you were at work. Different car each time, always around lunchtime. The words hit me like a sledgehammer, shattering the last shred of hope I had. 2 months. While I was working overtime to surprise her, she was secretly meeting Derek during her lunch breaks. A cold rage surged through me, stiffening my entire body. Thank you for telling me, Margaret. If you ask me, I think you're better off without her. You're a good man. You deserve someone who appreciates you. After she left, I called Thomas Bennett and scheduled a meeting for Monday morning. Then I did something I hadn't done in months. I called my friend Nathan and asked if he wanted to grab a drink. It's about time, he said. I haven't heard from you in ages. She kept you on too tight a leash. I'll explain when I see you. We met at a sports bar downtown. Nathan already had a beer when I arrived. All right. What's going on? He asked as I sat down. I gave him the condensed version of events. His expression shifted from surprise to disgust. Did I hear that right? She's leaving you to play house with her broke ex-boyfriend. That about sums it up, and she had the audacity to frame it as her doing something noble. In fact, she said he needed her more than I did. Nathan shook his head. Man, some people have a lot of nerve. What are you going to do? I've already contacted a lawyer. Meeting him on Monday. Good. Don't let her drag it out. Cut ties quickly and move on with your life. For the next 2 hours, we talked about everything except my marriage. It felt good to have a normal conversation with another adult. I realized how long it had been since I socialized without her controlling every detail. When I got home that night, there were 3 missed calls from her and 2 voicemails. I didn't listen to them. Instead, I opened a beer and ordered a pizza. When was the last time I ordered pizza without consulting her about toppings or worrying about her dietary restrictions? My phone rang again, her name on the screen. I let it ring to voicemail. The house felt different now. Somehow bigger, quieter, but not a lonely quiet. A peaceful one. I could hear the neighbor's dog barking, cars driving by on the street, the hum of the refrigerator. Normal noises I never noticed when she was around, always talking or playing videos on her phone. Sunday morning, I did something I hadn't done in years. I slept until 9, made churros with hot chocolate for breakfast, and then watched soccer without anyone complaining about the volume or asking me to change the channel. Around noon, my phone rang. An unknown number. Hello. It's about Derek Robertson. It was an older man's voice, gravelly. Who is this? Robert Miller. I used to work with Derek at the construction company before his business went belly up. His wife called me asking about him. I sat up straight. What did she want to know? She asked if he really lost everything like he said. She wanted to know if I'd seen him out and about, if he was really struggling as much as he claimed. Robert chuckled, but there was no humor in his laugh. Here's the thing. Derek hasn't lost anything. His business is doing well. In fact, he just bought a new truck last month. An expensive one. He painted her this grand picture of a comeback, convinced her to invest in his new project, promising quick returns, even hefty profits. All the pieces clicked into place. He lied to her. Seems like it. I just thought you should know. Derek's always been a smooth talker, especially with women who sympathize with him. After Robert hung up, I stood there looking at my phone. Derek had manipulated her perfectly. He had spun a tragic tale of bankruptcy and despair, knowing she would believe it, and she fell for it hook, line, and sinker. The irony was almost laughable. She left me to help someone who didn't need help, while I was the one working overtime to improve our lives. I expected to feel a sense of vindication, or to want to call her and expose her foolishness. But surprisingly, I only felt a profound sense of relief. She had made her decision. The fact that this decision was based on a lie only spoke to her ignorance in making good choices. Monday morning, I woke up with a sense of purpose I hadn't felt in months. I met Thomas Bennett at 9. He was a pragmatic man in his 50s, the kind of lawyer who was straightforward. No emotional drama, just focused on the facts. A standard divorce case, he said after hearing my situation. No children, minimal joint assets because your finances were largely separate. Should be straightforward. As for her taking money from the joint account to lend to Derek, we'll treat that as an advance in the property division, or directly as evidence of her misappropriation of community property, which will only put her in a worse position. I signed the initial documents and walked out of his office feeling lighter than I had in weeks. Instead of going straight to work, I stopped at a coffee shop I had never been to before. The kind of place she would complain was too pretentious or too expensive. The barista was a college student named Daniel. First time? Yes. What do you recommend? That depends. Do you want to play it safe or try something new? New sounds good. He made me an elaborate drink with 3 different coffee beans. It was quite good. I sat by the window, watching passers-by, checking emails on my phone. A normal Monday morning, except I didn't have to rush home to report on my day or ask her what she wanted for dinner. Work was different too. In fact, I worked late on Tuesday because I wanted to finish a project, not because I dreaded going home. My supervisor, Sarah, noticed. You seem more focused lately, she said Wednesday afternoon. Just trying to stay productive. Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up. The Morrison client really liked your proposal yesterday. It was interesting how much clearer my mind became once I was no longer constantly distracted by relationship drama. For months, I had been juggling work stress with her emotional state when she came home. Now I just had to focus on doing my job well. Thursday evening, my phone started ringing again. It was her number. I was making dinner, so I let it ring. Then it rang again and again. Finally, I picked up. What? Don't hang up, please. I need to talk to you. Her voice sounded strained. I'm listening. Things with Derek aren't, not like I expected. I continued stirring my pasta sauce. So does that mean he's not as grateful as you thought? And some of the things he told me about his situation weren't true. I remained silent. I think I might have made a mistake. You might have. Okay, I made a huge mistake. But we can fix this, right? We can get through this. I turned off the stove and leaned against the counter. Let me ask you something. When you decided to leave, did you ever consider the hurt it would cause me? Of course I did. No, I don't think you did. I think you saw what you wanted, and you took it regardless of the cost. Now things haven't gone your way, and you want a do-over. That's not fair. Fair. I almost laughed. You leave me for another man, and you want to talk about fair. It's not like that. You know it's not like that. Then what is it like? Because I'm having a hard time seeing it any other way. She was silent for a long time. Can I come home? Can we try to work it out? No. It's that simple. It's that simple. I hung up and put my phone on silent. Then I finished dinner, opened a beer, and watched a movie I'd wanted to see for months. The kind of action movie she always said was too loud and too silly. Friday afternoon, Nathan called. How's single life treating you? Honestly, better than expected. Want to grab dinner tonight? There's a new steakhouse downtown I've been wanting to try. We met at a steakhouse that had opened a few months ago. The kind of place she would say was too expensive for a casual meal. You look good, man, Nathan said after we ordered. Relaxed. I feel relaxed. It's strange. It's not strange. You've been living on eggshells for years. Now you can just be yourself. Without her picky coffee choices, without arguments over the TV remote, I found myself truly enjoying my own time. The waiter brought our steaks. Mine was cooked perfectly, exactly as I requested. When was the last time I ordered a steak without her comments on red meat or asking the waiter 20 questions about cooking methods? So what's the plan? Nathan asked. The divorce proceedings are underway. If she doesn't contest it, it should be finalized in a couple of months. Do you think she'll contest it? I imagine she'll try, but Thomas says it's not a big deal. She abandoned the marriage. She's living with another man. It's pretty clear and concise. After dinner, we walked around downtown for a while. It was a pleasant evening, warm for October. I realized I couldn't remember the last time I just walked aimlessly. You know what's funny? I said as we got back to our cars. What? I'm still expecting to feel sad or angry about this, but mostly I just feel relieved. That says it all. I got home to 2 more voicemails from her. I deleted them without listening and went to bed early. Tomorrow was Saturday, and for the first time in months, I had no plans, no obligations, just a whole day to do what I wanted. The thought didn't make me anxious. Instead, it made me excited. 6 weeks after she left, the calls became increasingly desperate. No longer occasional late-night calls, but several times a day. I'd wake up to 3 missed calls, check my phone at lunch to find 5 more, and come home to a full voicemail box. I never answered. One evening, Margaret, my neighbor, knocked on my door again. She had that look of someone about to burst with gossip yet feigning calm. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, she said, but I thought you should know. I saw your wife at the supermarket yesterday. Oh. She looked terrible, like she hadn't slept, and she was arguing loudly on the phone with a man in the parking lot. So loud that other people were staring. I didn't respond, but Margaret continued anyway. My cousin Maria works at the bank downtown. She said your wife went to the bank last week trying to cash a bad check. Said it was for a loan that was supposed to be repaid to her. This caught my attention. A loan. Apparently she lent someone a large sum of money, and when she tried to deposit the repayment check, it bounced. Maria said she looked frantic about it. After Margaret left, I sat in the kitchen thinking about what she told me. Derek convinced her to lend him money. The money apparently didn't exist, just like his tragic story of bankruptcy. My phone rang again. Her number. This time I answered. Please stop calling me. Just listen to me for 5 minutes. Her voice sounded like she had been crying for hours. You have 2 minutes. Derek's gone. He left the city 3 days ago. He took the money I withdrew from our joint account and just disappeared. I remained silent. I'm in trouble. Serious trouble. I can't pay my credit card bills, and I have nowhere to live. You made your decision. I know I did, and it was the wrong decision. I admit it, but I need help. Call your parents. I did. They don't want to talk to me. My dad said I made my bed and now I have to lie in it. A smart man. What about your sister, Catherine? She said the same thing. Everyone thinks I'm an idiot for leaving you. They're not wrong. She started crying harder. I know I hurt you. I know I ruined everything good we had, but I'm desperate. I have no one else to turn to. You should have thought of that when you left me for another man. It wasn't supposed to be like this. He said he just needed help to get back on his feet, and then we would build something together. He made it all sound like we had a future. And you believed him. I know how it sounds. I know I was naive, but I really thought I was doing the right thing. I looked around my kitchen. Clean countertops, no dirty dishes in the sink, no clutter anywhere. Where are you living now? A motel on Highway 45. The kind you pay for by the week. It's all I can afford. Highway 45. I knew the place. Not dangerous, but certainly not pleasant. I'm sorry to hear that. Can I come home? Just temporarily, until I figure out my next steps. No. Please. I'm not asking to get back together. I just want a place to stay until I sort out this mess. The answer is still no. What's the harm in letting me sleep on the couch for a few weeks? I almost laughed. Because you're no longer my responsibility. You left, remember? You chose Derek over me. That it didn't work out doesn't make it my problem. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. Are you really going to let me be homeless? You didn't make a mistake. You made a series of decisions. You chose to meet him behind my back. You chose to lend him money. You chose to leave me. You chose to believe him over me. Every step of this disaster was your own choice. She was silent for a long time. When she spoke again, her voice was almost a whisper. I know I don't deserve your help, but I'm still asking you. And I'm still refusing. I hung up and turned off my phone until the next morning. The next morning, I had breakfast at that coffee shop again. Daniel remembered my order. The usual. No, today I want to go simple. He made me a simpler drink. Plain coffee with a hint of vanilla. Perfect. I sat by the window again, watching people start their day. A couple walked by hand in hand, laughing about something. A businesswoman hurried past, checking her phone. A man my age jogged with his dog. Ordinary people living ordinary lives. No drama, no manipulation, no one asking them to solve problems they didn't create. My phone vibrated with a text from my lawyer. Divorce papers are ready for your review. Can you come in this afternoon? I replied, be there at 3. When I arrived at Thomas Bennett's office, he had everything laid out on the table. She hasn't responded to any of our attempts to notify her, he said. We may need to publish an announcement in the newspaper if we can't find her current address. Try the Sunset Motel on Highway 45. He raised an eyebrow but wrote it down. This should be resolved next month. She has 30 days to respond once we notify her, but given her circumstances, I don't anticipate any opposition. Walking back to my car, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Complete control over my own life. No one else's problems to solve. No one else's bad decisions to deal with. No one else's emotional drama to navigate. Just me, making my own decisions, facing my own consequences. It felt fantastic. 3 months later, my life had found a rhythm I never knew I was missing. I woke up when I wanted, ate what I wanted, watched what I wanted. The house stayed clean because I was the only one living in it. My stress levels were at their lowest in years. Work was going well too. Without the constant relationship drama bothering me, I became more focused and efficient. Sarah had started giving me bigger projects, and there were rumors of another promotion for me. Meanwhile, her calls had stopped entirely. I guess she finally got the message. Then Nathan called me with news. Remember my girlfriend, Emma? She works at that restaurant on Riverside Avenue. Yes. What about it? She said your ex-wife is working there as a waitress now. Emma said she looks terrible. Working double shifts to pay the rent for a studio apartment. I was silent for a moment. Okay. Is that all? Just okay. What do you expect me to say? I don't know, man. Don't you feel sorry for her at all? Should I? She's busting her ass in a restaurant. That's what people do when they need money. They work. Nathan was silent for a while. You've become pretty cold about this. No, I've just become clearer about it. There's a difference. The truth was, I wasn't cold about it. I didn't feel anything special. Her problems were no longer my problems, and that felt natural, not cruel. A week later, my lawyer called. We finally served her the papers. She has 30 days to respond, but I don't anticipate much contention. Her living situation suggests she can't afford legal representation. How long until it's final? Assuming she doesn't object, about 6 more weeks. That weekend, I did something I had been thinking about for months. I went to the Mercedes-Benz dealership. The same salesperson who helped me before recognized me instantly. "Hello, you're back. Are you still interested in the model you looked at before?" "Actually, I want something different. Something just for me." We spent 2 hours looking at options. I test drove 3 different models and finally settled on a midnight blue C-Class sedan. Performance package, premium interior, all the features I wanted. "That's a great choice," the salesperson said as we finished the paperwork. "Your wife will love it." "This is just for me," I corrected him. "I'm divorced." He was confused for a second, then recovered. "Well, you have excellent taste. This car will serve you well." When I drove the car home that night, it felt like closing one chapter and opening a new one. The car I had originally intended to surprise her with was gone, replaced by a car that was entirely my own. Sunday afternoon, I was washing my Mercedes-Benz in the driveway when Margaret walked over. "New car, new life. It's beautiful. You deserve nice things." As she walked away, a beat-up Opel pulled into my driveway. I didn't recognize the car, but I recognized the passenger. Catherine, my ex-wife's sister, got out and walked towards me. The driver stayed in the car. "We need to talk," Catherine said. "No, we don't. She's in bad shape. I mean, really bad." I continued wiping my car. "That's unfortunate. She's working 2 jobs and barely making enough to eat. She lost 7 kilograms last month. She's family. I can't just stand by and watch her self-destruct." I put down what I was doing and looked her straight in the eye. "She's your family, not mine. Not anymore. You used to care about her. I used to be married to her. Things change. She made a mistake. She made a decision. Now she's living with the consequences of that decision. That's life." Catherine's face hardened. "You really don't care that she's suffering?" "I care about a lot of things. The homeless people I see downtown every morning, children in foster care, people who are unfortunate through no fault of their own. Your sister doesn't fall into any of those categories. So that's it. You're just going to let her hit rock bottom." The day she hit rock bottom was the day she chose another man over her husband. Everything that's happened since then is just a natural progression of that choice. Catherine stared at me for a long time. "You've changed." "Yes, I have. I'm no longer responsible for other people's bad decisions." She didn't say another word and got back into the Opel. As they drove away, I caught a glimpse of her in the passenger seat, looking thin and defeated. But she had nothing to do with me, and I felt nothing. I turned back and continued washing my car. That night, for the first time in months, I called my parents. We talked for an hour about ordinary things. Work, the weather, their vacation plans. It felt good to have a conversation that wasn't centered on relationship drama. "You sound happy," my mother said before hanging up. "I am happy." "Good. You deserve to be happy." As I got ready for bed that night, I realized she was right. I was happy. Not because my ex-wife was suffering, but because her problems were no longer my problems. I was free from the burden of managing someone else's emotions, correcting someone else's mistakes, and dealing with someone else's emotional drama. This freedom was more valuable than any Mercedes-Benz. For months after she left my life, she tried to force her way back in. It was a stormy Tuesday night in November, and I could hear the rain beating against the windows as I read a book in the living room that I'd wanted to read for months. At 9:30, the doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw not only her but an entire delegation. Her mother, her sister Catherine, a woman I didn't recognize but who might have been her friend, and a man carrying a briefcase. I opened the door but didn't step aside to let them in. "Good evening," I said calmly. She looked exactly as Emma described her. 7 kilograms lighter, dark circles under her eyes, wearing a cheap raincoat that looked weathered. The woman who used to spend an hour getting ready just to go to the supermarket now looked like she had slept in her car. "Can we come in?" she asked, her voice trembling. "We need to talk." "We can talk here." The man in the suit stepped forward. "I'm Harrison Cole, attorney at law. I represent Mrs. Reynolds." "Ms." I corrected him. "We divorced last Friday." His confidence wavered for a second, then he recovered. Ms. Reynolds. We're here to discuss a possible reconciliation. I almost laughed. Reconciliation. You brought a lawyer to discuss getting back together. Her mother interjected. We know she made a mistake, and we're angry with her too. But she's our daughter, and we can't just stand by and watch her be homeless. We're begging you, for old time's sake, give her temporary shelter. Oh, and yes, she's working 2 jobs just to barely make ends meet, Catherine added. She hardly eats, hardly sleeps. She understands now. She understands what she gave up. I looked at each of them, then back at my ex-wife. Let me get this straight. You've brought your mother, your sister, your friend, and a lawyer to my house at 9:30 at night in the rain to tell me you've learned your lesson. I know how it looks, she said, stepping closer. But I had to try. I had to make you understand how sorry I am, how much I regret everything I did. You think an intervention is the solution? The lawyer cleared his throat. There are legal avenues we could explore if you were willing. I raised my hand. Let me save everyone some time. I walked to the porch and closed the door behind me. All 5 of them now stood in the rain, looking at me expectantly. For months ago, you told me Derek needed you more than I did. You left our marriage to help another man. You took money from our joint account to lend to him. You lied to me for months before you left, meeting him behind my back. I know, but I'm not finished. My voice was calm but firm. You chose him over me. Not once, but repeatedly. You chose to believe his lies over your husband. You chose to prioritize his needs over our marriage. You chose to leave. The rain intensified, but no one moved. Now Derek is gone. Your money is gone. Your family won't help you, and you're working in a restaurant, struggling to pay rent for a studio apartment. And suddenly you want to come back. It's not like that, she said desperately. Then what is it like? I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But people make mistakes. People learn from them. We can rebuild from this. I shook my head. You didn't make a mistake. You made a decision. You saw what you wanted, and you took it. The only thing you regret is that things didn't go your way. Her friend stepped forward. She's been punished enough. She's learned her lesson. Punishment. I looked her straight in the eye. You think making a living is punishment? You think facing the consequences of your decisions is punishment? She loves you, her mother said. She still loves you. No, she doesn't. She loves the comfortable life, the false sense of security that she wouldn't have to face the consequences of her mistakes. The lawyer tried again. If a financial arrangement could be reached. What? You want to pay me to take her back? I actually laughed. What's the market price for taking back a woman who left her marriage for another man? Because trust and loyalty are priceless, and she utterly destroyed them with lies and betrayal. My ex-wife started crying. Please. I know I don't deserve it, but I'm still begging you for another chance. You want another chance? I asked. Let me tell you about chances. I had a chance to surprise you with a Mercedes-Benz the night you left me. Instead, I put the keys in my pocket and watched you walk away. I had a chance to chase after you, to beg you to stay, to fight for our marriage. I didn't. I used my own keys. That midnight blue Mercedes-Benz is in my garage right now. I had a chance to answer your calls, to let you back into my life, to be your safety net when Derek disappeared. I didn't take that chance either. And you know what? Every chance I didn't take proved to be the right decision. You still bought a Mercedes-Benz, she whispered. I did. A better one. And it's all mine. The rain had soaked everyone's clothes, but I wasn't finished. Here's how this is going to go. All of you are going to get back in your car and leave. You're going to accept that this marriage is over, that I've moved on, and that showing up at my door with a team of lawyers isn't going to change anything. But where will I go? She asked. What will I do? What every adult does after making bad decisions. Figure it out for yourself. I turned to go inside, then stopped. Oh, and one more thing. Don't come here again. Don't call. Don't text. Don't send people to speak for you. We're done. You destroyed everything with your own hands, and I for one won't give you any chance to fix it. Tonight won't change that. I went back inside and locked the door. Through the window, I watched them stand in my driveway for a few minutes, presumably figuring out what to do next. Eventually, they got back in their car and drove away. I poured myself a whiskey and sat back down with my book. The rain continued to beat against the windows, but inside my house it was exceptionally quiet. My phone remained silent for the rest of the night. For the first time in 4 months, I knew deep down that this tranquility would always be mine.